Welcome to Health Psychology for the Summer 2 session. I'm Dr. Williams, and I'll be your instructor for our 6 weeks that we'll be spending together. I'm open up to the Start Here menu in Plato, so that's this little tab here. And I just want to walk you through the different things that I've parked here. It's a one-stop shop that has a bunch of information pertaining to the class. So you're going to want to go through each item individually. As I talk about them, you can even pause this video if you want and go to them, but either that or go back to it, because you're going to want to refer to some of these things periodically throughout our time together. I've put the syllabus here. Make sure you read that very thoroughly. It has all the expectations for the class, course description, schedule of what we'll be doing and when, as well as different expectations on how you'll be graded. Any questions you have are probably going to be answered by looking at the syllabus. But after going through this, if you do have questions that remain, please feel free to go ahead and email me. I've posted my bio here with some pictures, just so you can get to know a little bit more about me, who I am as your instructor, and I would also like to know a little bit more about you. So if you could take a look at that and then go ahead and post your bio, you're going to click into the Communications tab, and you're going to go on down to the Student Lounge, and you can just go ahead and click on this, and then you're going to post your bio. So tell me who you are, maybe what year you are, your major, minor, any interesting stuff about you, where you're from. That would be super helpful just in me being able to get to know you guys a little bit better. And here is your textbook information for the class. There's 2 books, the main text that we'll be using, as well as an additional book called The Longevity Project that we will be using. And so you'll need both of these. They're both required for the class, and you can find them at the bookstore is probably your best bet. I don't know that all of these prices are exactly current. I feel like it changes constantly, so don't hold me to these prices. I just copy and pasted from the website where they sell the textbook. So the textbook is by Serafino and Smith. It's Health Psychology, Biopsychosocial Interactions, and it's the 9th edition. I think in the bookstore I gave you guys the ebook because it's cheaper. It's the cheaper option. But if you want a print version, you can probably order that. Just make sure that you're leaving enough time to get the book. I typically post the first chapter for you, so you can go ahead and get started reading. But beyond that, you're going to need to have the textbook. So I would say like the ebook is probably the best bet, because as soon as you purchase it, you get the access code right away and you get your book right away. There's no waiting for it in the mail or anything like that. And the same thing with the Longevity Project. You could also find this on Amazon. So if you have Amazon 2-3 day shipping, probably your best bet. But the big bookstore is pretty fairly priced as well. And that's by Friedman and Martin. And we're going to be using this book along with the main text. So the main text covers key concepts within a chapter, and this kind of plays off of some of those concepts. And so you can take a look at what those involve. And then in the week 1 of your work, module 1, you're going to see a little video about the Longevity Project. The author's explaining the purpose of the book and what it's all about. So that'll be cool for you to look at. I've also posted some additional resources here, how to cite your sources when you're writing in the discussion post. That's important. You're going to want to refer to this a lot. There's some interactive animations that go along with the Serafino textbook. Chapter 2 in the textbook is all the physiology stuff. So all of chapter 2 takes you through every system of the body physiologically. And what I do is I cover those in modules. And so instead of just reading all through chapter 2 all in one sitting, you're going to break it up. And if you open your textbook, you'll see what I'm talking about. Chapter 2, they do it in 6 modules. So you have like the endocrine system, the digestive system, the cardiovascular system, etc. We'll cover each one of those along with another chapter of the book. So for example, as we're talking about diet and exercise, we'll cover the digestive system. As we're talking about stress and its effect on the immune system, we'll cover the immune system. So I try to cover the physiological modules where they make sense as we're talking about those bodily systems. And this might sound confusing to you right now, but once you open that textbook and you look at chapter 2 and you kind of see how it is laid out, it'll make sense to you. But this is just a little short podcast on how those animations work. And the animations are really just walking you through what's already in the book. Here's your circulatory system. Here's how it works. And so it's helpful in a sense that if you're a visual person, it's helpful to kind of see that as you're reading about it. And then I just have some other resources here for you: academic policy, how to email me. I'm a big kind of proponent of when you email me, tell me who you are, be sure to address me appropriately. Just keep in mind that emails to professors are not text messages, right? So grammar is kind of important, that kind of thing. Whatever your question is, let me know. And I'm really good about getting back to you on email. I'm very quick. Within 24 hours, you'll have a response. That's my goal as your professor. Here's some policy stuff. Avoiding plagiarism, really important. You don't want to be copying anybody else's work, especially when we're talking about work done in the discussion forums where you're posting to a discussion board. I would say don't read other people's posts before you post your own. Because what happens when you do that is there's a tendency to plagiarize, even without realizing you're plagiarizing. You're taking ideas you've already read about and then you're writing your own. So I would go ahead and answer the discussion questions each week just based off your own ideas before you look at anybody else's. Because you're going to be posting an original response each week, and then you're going to be looking at other people's posts and commenting on theirs. And here's some additional campus resources. If you do get to campus this summer, a lot of this stuff has been put online due to COVID. So, Bonacco Center, Counseling Center, Reading and Writing Center, they have a lot of online resources right now. So if you're distance learning and taking this class from far away, you still have access to a lot of these different resources. Here is information on how to do a discussion board post. You'll see this in your first week of work as well. It goes over the rubric of what I want included in your responses each week as you're posting to the discussion boards, what your post should look like, what they should have in them, and all of that good stuff. Okay, so that covers everything here. The next spot to go to is week 1, module 1. That's going to be the first thing you're going to cover. You won't see these pop up. They'll be hidden from you. You'll see them each week as we do them. So come Sunday, the material for week 2 will be available to you. Usually Sunday evening is when I make that available to you, because that's usually when I'm done creating it. So you'll have all of week 1. So that's your next stop, is week 1. If you have any questions about anything in this podcast, anything that I covered, please email me and let me know. Thanks everyone, and I look forward to a wonderful summer session with you guys.